Hey everybody, it's Marshmuck here. This is going to be Supergirl Season 1, Episode 2, review and rundown. Now this episode is pretty much all about, Aunt Astra. We're getting a little bit more of her this episode. Also we're getting a little bit more about, just getting to our groove in general. Like, we're getting a little bit of stuff with Wen and, and Jimmy and, I guess, James, I should call him. James and, all this bunch of stuff. So we're kind of, like, finding our voice a little bit with this episode. I feel like this is seeding a lot of stuff for future episodes as well. So let's talk about, spoiler alert, if you have not seen the episode yet. And yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so this episode, starting with biggest story to littlest story, there's not really anything to run down with stories, because I feel like it's not like Gotham or Arrow or Flash, where it has, like, multiple stories going on. I feel like the only story that's going on right now is Supergirl's journey a little bit. But let's start with that. So let's start with Cara. I almost said Cara. Cara, because it's, like, confusing, because Kat calls her Cara, but her real name is Cara, so it's kind of confusing. But anyway, Cara ends up going, like, obviously, she started her Supergirl journey in the last episode, picking right back where we left off with her training. I'm glad that they're doing the whole training thing, because it's like the same thing happened with Superman, where he flies in blind, and he just, like, tries to take down, like, it's not about, like, muscle. Like, I feel like sometimes Superman's like a dum-dum, because, if that's how you want to phrase it, because, like, he's like a dum-dum sometimes, because he uses his muscle rather than his brain. That's what I like about Batman, and that's what I like about the whole Batman v Superman aspect, is because Batman is intelligence. He uses his brain, whereas Superman most of the time just goes in with his brawn, which is good too. But I feel like you need more wit in the battlefield, because though you are Kryptonian, though you have these powers, it's still battle, it's still strategy, which is what Batman, for instance, thrives at, which is the opposite of both Superman and Supergirl. So I feel like the training thing is going to get really fun. So when she ends up training, like always, like Superman, well, maybe not like Superman, but she denies that she needs training. She's like, I don't need no training, I'm Kryptonian, I got these powers, I don't need no craziness going on in this club, like what? And so anyway, she ends up going, she leaves this training thing, and she ends up, kind of trying to save the day. She tries to save this boat, and it goes kind of wrong. She uses her freeze breath to kind of take out the fire, but she's not really good at freeze breath yet. And then she tries to move the boat, and she moves it, and everyone starts clapping. It's like, oops, that caused an oil spill, and it didn't kill any of the fishes, but it could have killed sea creatures. So that kind of ended up failing. Though, she ended up correcting it later on in the episode, where she gets, like, Wen, and she gets James, and she ends up correcting everything with, like, okay, so let's do all these small crimes first. Weirdest crime would probably have to be the snake in the tree, like, named Fluffy. What the heck? I feel like that was supposed to be, like, a comedic moment, and I really did laugh at that. Like, and I didn't really laugh, like, I wasn't like, ha ha ha. Like, in my mind, I was just like, oh, that's funny. So I feel like that was a really comedic moment, and I feel like the montages are, like, really good. Everything in this episode was really solid. It was really good. Like I said, it was a really good episode. So with that, the comedic moments, and just everything going on with that, with what's going on in Supergirl right now, I feel like it's doing well. And I feel like she's doing well with all these small crimes, and now the city loves her now. Like, in 5 minutes flat, the city loves her again. And then Cat Grant wants an interview with Supergirl, so it's kind of like, okay, how are we supposed to do this? But she pressures James, and James is kind of like, I'm not going to use my friends to get things, but then he was threatened to be fired, and then Kara steps in, gets all like that. But anyway, back in the DEO, like, away, separate from the whole city stuff, the DEO is dealing with another villain from the comics. It is H. Grimite. I'm not going to actually say the actual name, H. Grimite. I'm not going to say what H-E double hockey sticks. I ain't gonna say that. But anyway, yeah, they go up against him in this episode, and he's pretty interesting. He was a really interesting villain I guess kind of a villain. He really wasn't that big of a villain, but it was really interesting to see him in this episode. Now, working with him is Aunt Astra. We kind of got a little bit of her. Like, I feel like last week with, I think it was like Vartox or whatever his name was, I feel like those villain scenes were a little bit, Like, I feel like I didn't like those villain scenes with, like, are you sure she is your blood? And she's like, no one must stand in my way. So I feel like that was a little bit too, like, kind of like, I'm not going to say cheesy, but it was, like, kind of weird. Now, in this episode, the villain scenes are incredible. Like, I feel like she was threatening, and she's like, hello, child, and she's, like, hitting it hard this episode, so I really like that. But going with what's going on in this episode with Aunt Astra, we kind of got revealed that she's going to be, well, they got revealed that she's going to be the big villain of the season, kind of. I feel like she'll be like the big mid-season villain, and then maybe Hank Henshaw will become like the last villain in the back half of the season. So maybe, I'm not really sure. We got a kind of got that tease later on in the episode. But anyway, so what goes on with this is that she fights Aunt Astra. She knows about her. She starts to fight her. And it doesn't really go so well. Whereas, she gets kind of handed, like, Supergirl gets her butt handed to her, and then she goes up against her and uses her strength against her and defeats Aunt Astra for right now. And also, Hank Henshaw actually helps with that by using a kryptonite knife, and she don't know what kryptonite is, so neither does Supergirl. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. But they both found out about kryptonite this episode, which leads me to believe, does Superman know about it? Like, does Superman already know about kryptonite, or does he not know? Because they just found out, so, like, wouldn't he tell Cara about kryptonite? I don't know, maybe he hasn't found out about kryptonite yet. Or maybe he has found out, but he just didn't tell them, I don't know. But anyway, he didn't tell Supergirl, that's for sure. But anyway, Supergirl finds out about it, so now Aunt Astra finds out about it, and we kind of got a little bit of that kryptonite stuff this week. But anyway, going along in this episode, she's defeated, and she's gonna we're seeding what's going to happen. Like, we're seeding the whole, I must get stronger, and I must go against Cara, but I thought the humans could not hurt me, yet they can, so it's kind of like, how do you deal with that? I felt like this episode was good. We also got the whole Fortress of Salt, like, mini Fortress of Solitude with Supergirl. She got her own room with, like, the projection thing with her mom. That's going to be interesting to see. I really can't wait. She's probably going to go for her for advice every episode. Maybe. We don't know yet. So we're probably going to have to find out. My back hurts right now. I pop my back. Hurts right now. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. But anyway, she ends up going against her mom, like I said, or not her mom, against Aunt Astra. It ends up working out. She's gonna get ready to fight her again. She's gonna train some more. It's gonna get really fun and exciting as well. Other than that, that's really all that happened in this episode. Like, there really wasn't anything else. I think Maxwell Lord is gonna be in the next episode. I haven't seen the promo yet, so I don't know for sure. But comment down below what you guys thought of this episode. So yeah, updates. The Flash is tonight, so I'll be live tweeting for Flash. Maybe, I'm not really sure yet. Also, links up there to my other videos. I just posted a Gotham video. My Supergirl playlist will be up there and all that stuff as well. Go follow my Twitter, my Instagram, my Vine, and my vlog channel. Go follow and subscribe to those. I think that's pretty much it. So other than that, like it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.